Hello, welcome to my second video. We made it, and it's the end of dry January. I'm gonna start with a beer. This is Rad Little Thing. It's the newest installment from, I guess, the Little Thing series from Sierra Nevada, which I haven't been crazy about, but this one is East Coast meets West Coast, which I know Lagunitas put one out not too long ago called Best of Both Beasts of the Coasts or something. I'll look it up after. I already had this. I drank this last night. It's good. I don't think this style really works of East Coast meets West Coast. The like hazy IPA meets hoppy West Coast IPA. It's kind of like they contradict each other. It doesn't work. This is just like a hazy IPA, but I'm not complaining. It's good. And dry January is over, so I'm happy to be drinking any real beer. All right, lots of books to talk about today. Wow, I'll start with Glass Castle, which last video I was about 20% through, like 100 pages if I'm remembering right. And this is maybe in my top 5. I loved this book. Definitely my favorite memoir, or one of my favorite memoirs. I feel weird because the last video my perspective has completely shifted because I was like, oh, the dad's like an alcoholic, but he's like kind of cool at times. It's not like that at all by the end. The thing I liked about this book is it does a good job of portraying alcoholism and addiction in a way that I think is rare. It's not very black and white. You're like along for the ride with the daughter, and you see the full spectrum of her dad. You don't just see the bad parts, and it makes it really difficult by the end. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but yeah, just a beautiful story, heartbreaking. There's a theme of like generational trauma that you kind of see sort of why the dad is the way he is potentially, because you meet his parents about halfway through. They go and stay with the author's grandparents, her dad's parents. I remember a scene where they're like laughing. The kids are laughing in the basement, and the grandma, they have to be quiet because the grandma doesn't allow laughter in the house, which is just, that is going to stick with me for a while. But yeah, I loved it. Great memoir if you're looking for a memoir. Oh, I looked up the town. I didn't write down the name of it. I suggest if you read the book and you get to, I think it's part 2, when they go, I think it's in Virginia. It's like a mining town they go to, the dad's hometown. I went on Google Maps and I looked it up and like did the street view and walked through the street of, I need to know what the town name is. And it really put me into like what this place looked like and felt like, and seemingly it's still the exact same way, like this mining town, Welch. I think it's Virginia. I'll correct myself after if not, but yeah, I suggest you do that once you get to the Welch part, because I felt really into the book at that point. That's my favorite section, when they're staying in that mining town. Next up, Color of Magic. Another one I talked about last time. Fantasy. I think last time I said it was like you're thrown into the middle of a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. It's like that to start, and then it goes all over the place. The main guy's like a wizard who's like a bad wizard. He knows like one spell and he doesn't even know what it does. They live in this continent on this planet that's on the back of a turtle that's flying through space. This wizard meets this tourist guy who's visiting from another part, like the counterweight continent, I think they call it. And he's just like this idiot who doesn't understand what danger is, and all this adventure stuff happens. But then it randomly pivots to like the most trippy, psychedelic, like weird scenes that are almost hard to even come out of it knowing what happened. But super entertaining to read and very fast paced. Yeah, by the end, I think I've read that this is the first book in that Discworld series, and I've read that the earlier ones aren't as good as the later ones, which makes me a lot more excited to read the series. Because I didn't love this because I'm not a big like fantasy guy, but for being a fantasy, it had enough uniqueness that I was impressed. Fun read. I definitely recommend it if you're into fantasy. Which if you're into fantasy, you probably already read it, or one of the Discworld series. So that's what I finished over the last week. I started this book here, The Circle by Dave Eggers. I am 94 pages in, really early in this. I think it's probably like 600 or so, 500 pages. Not much has happened so far. It's basically this girl gets a job at this big tech company that sounds like the biggest in the world. Think like Google or Apple. You can tell it's going to be Orwellian and talk about how privacy is good and surveillance is bad, which is all good. I just feel like that's been done so many times that I'm hoping that this is more of a thriller and there's more to it than just that. I'm thinking like Silo or like a Blake Crouch book like Wayward Pines or Dark Matter. I want it to be like weird and thrillery, and because all that's happened so far is character introduction, and I like all the characters, and yeah, I'm into it. I'm on board. I just hope it keeps going in a good direction and we get some sort of thriller type action. I also started Eating Animals, 60 pages into this. I'm trying to read more nonfiction this year. This is what you think it's about. It's the author has written fiction. He's like a famous fiction author, Jonathan Safran. I'm going to butcher that. Everything is Illuminated. He wrote that. And he wrote Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, which I haven't read this, but this is the first from him that I'm reading. Obviously, it's nonfiction. It's sort of his take on, it sounds like he had a kid, and then after he had a kid, he's starting to question meat eating in general. So he decided to do some research into everything related to eating animals, factory farming, the history of it, health benefits. It's quick chapters, kind of all over the place right now, but I'm enjoying it, and like I said, I'm interested in reading more nonfiction. It doesn't feel very judgy, like it doesn't seem like vegan or vegetarian propaganda. It's more just like a personal story. It almost seems like it's half memoir. But yeah, I'm liking it. My Libby notification for Martyr popped up, so I'm going to be reading that probably after The Circle. We also went to Fort Lauderdale over the weekend. Oh, I'm not going to know the name of the brewery. And I don't have my phone because it's right there. We went to a brewery. I'll put the pictures here. Don't know the name of it. Don't remember. Something to do with animals. What was the brewery? Invasive Species. We went to Invasive Species, and really cool space. They had outdoor space, a small little tap room. Beer was good. I had the pale ale and then an IPA. My wife had a sour that was good. Like I said, good outdoor space, cool area, pretty walkable. And yeah, Fort Lauderdale is a cool city, so we enjoyed our time there. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. I might switch it up and just do one book and one beer a video, or I might keep doing the just finished, currently reading style or format. I'll see what I feel like doing, but I appreciate it. Thanks for watching.